Padawan would just slow me down.
The Clone Wars animated movie was released in August of 2008. It began with the Battle of Christophsis. Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi are on the verge of defeat. Supply lines and reinforcements have been cut off from above. Finally, a break. A shipment of reinforcements and supplies has made it through the blockade. Obi-Wan tells Anakin, "Maybe they brought my new Padawan." Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help support it.
Do it.
And leave a thumbs up for the video if you like it.
Do it.
Now, the Clone Wars has produced a lot of memorable characters, but none more memorable or well-rounded as the one I'm about ready to talk about. So, the ship unloads its cargo, and out comes a young Togruta female. She gives a message to Obi-Wan and Anakin. The message? She is not to be Obi-Wan's apprentice at all. Instead, she is to be Anakin Skywalker's. Obi-Wan then tells Anakin he was the instigator of this. Anakin is displeased by the decision and her lack of respect. He nicknames her Snips in return. During our first meeting with Ahsoka, most fans will agree she was annoying, almost as hated as Jar Jar Binks. She's obnoxious, hard-headed, and disobedient. The perfect Padawan for Anakin Skywalker. I thought, why are we getting another annoying character? Has George Lucas lost his mind and not learned from his mistakes with Jar Jar Binks? However, I was soon to learn the storytelling power of writer and director Dave Filoni. Ahsoka grew on me. I became less annoyed by her and more nonchalant. I could take her or leave her. That was a big switch from wanting her character to end. I'm not sure the exact moment my attitude changed from despising Ahsoka Tano to absolutely adoring her. Then, ultimately, she became my favorite Jedi and Clone Wars era character. Period. I never even questioned it. Now I often wonder what changed my mind about her. What made me decide this? It took years to figure it out. Now I know. Ahsoka Tano, voiced by Ashley Eckstein, was the perfect match for Anakin Skywalker. She had his tactical insight, she was hard-headed, and she was disobedient. However, she did have something Anakin Skywalker did not. A healthy regard of her master's teachings and a fervent belief in the Jedi Order. She also did not like disappointing Anakin. At 14 years old, she seemed far more mature than Anakin Skywalker, who was in his early 20s at the time. Thinking back, she reminds me a lot of my own daughters at her age. Dave Filoni had proven himself to me, in that he could create a believable teenage female character that I could relate to my children. With that, Ashley Eckstein put a lot of herself into the character. Miss Eckstein was Ahsoka, and my daughters were my Ahsoka. Not only was Ahsoka a great match for Anakin Skywalker, but she taught him almost as much as he taught her. He taught her about the Force and military tactics, and she taught him about forgiveness and compassion for someone other than himself. For 6 seasons she grew, both on me and in wisdom. She became a powerful Force user, but stayed humble. Ahsoka often went against her military teachings to help people who could not help themselves. Young Tano believed in the Jedi Order so much that she rarely questioned their decisions. That is, until... Ahsoka had made a friend in Barisafi, a Mary Ellen Padawan to Luminara Unduli. They had faced death together while on a mission on Geonosis. Trapped under rubble and no hope of escape, they confided in each other and formed a bond. They were about the same age and in the same stage of their training. Ahsoka trusted her. Then the moment came, a terrorist attack on the Jedi Temple resulting in many deaths, including that of a witness and a prisoner under suspicion. As Ahsoka questioned the prisoner suddenly choked and died. The security footage was without sound, and it appeared Ahsoka had committed the murder. Ahsoka took to hiding from the authorities in an effort to prove her innocence. Ahsoka was caught by the clones of the Coruscant Guard shock troops after she had been given help by a former Sith apprentice named Asajj Ventress. Ventress told Ahsoka there was no way she could have done all of that. She didn't have the spirit of a murderer. Ventress tells her to be careful of her friends. Ahsoka then contacts her friend, Barriss Offee. Offee tells her to look for a clue in a munitions warehouse. In the warehouse, Ahsoka is attacked and captured. A trap had been set for her, and now her fate rests in the hands of the Jedi Council in a military tribunal. Surely they know her character and would believe she was framed. The Jedi Council, led by Grand Master Yoda and Master Mace Windu, watch over the trial. The lead prosecutor is to be Admiral Wilhuff Tarkin. Due to this being a military matter, it became a military tribunal overseen by the Jedi Council. Prior to the trial, the Jedi Order had stripped her of her Padawan status and took her braid, signifying her role as a Jedi learner. She was being represented by Senator Padme Amidala. Amidala was desperate to clear her client of all accusations that carried an execution sentence, if she was found guilty. She had little success. However, Anakin had began his own secret investigation. With the evidence stacked against Ahsoka, Chancellor Palpatine began to read the verdict. Just as the verdict was about to be read, Anakin burst in with Barriss Offee, the true offender, the one who framed Ahsoka of all the crimes. Ahsoka was set free. The Jedi High Council issued an apology to Ahsoka. They told her this trial was successful in proving her innocence and was also a trial of her Jedi training that would make her a greater Jedi. They offered to her all status be returned and she could complete her Jedi training. Anakin extended his hand, which held her Padawan braid. She refused. The Jedi way is all she had known since she was very young. She believed in the Jedi Order and the Jedi Council. It crushed her to know they doubted her. They were willing to execute her. She now had to take her own path. She told Anakin she lost her faith in the Order and had to go her own way. I was brokenhearted that my favorite character was finished. I continued watching this series, but it lacked something. It began with Ahsoka, and it had to end with Ahsoka, right? I felt as disillusioned by the Jedi as she did. The series ended with Season 6 in 2013 and the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm. Shortly after, Star Wars Rebels came out, and I got to see Ahsoka as an adult. Then the novel, titled Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston, was released and I got to see more Ahsoka. Then, Disney and Lucasfilm announced a 7th season to the Clone Wars animated series. It had been 6 years since the last season. Now, I won't go into Season 7, as it's still unfolding with 2 episodes remaining. However, I can say this: Ahsoka is back, full force. Yeah, I know, it took a lot of me rambling and giving backstory to get us to this point in the video. A backstory most fans know. However, I felt it necessary to build on why I feel the way I do. How do I feel? Ahsoka is the embodiment of what a Jedi should be, of what I imagined the Jedi were before becoming blinded by war and the dark side clouding their vision. The Jedi Order became dogmatic and closed-minded. Ahsoka was not a perfect Jedi, nor was she a Jedi anymore at all, but she showed the qualities of a true peacekeeper, guardian, and servant to the people. She had compassion for all living things and sought to help them when they were in need. She trusted fully and devoted her life to serving others. Military life suited her well, and she gained the respect of her battle-hardened forces. I don't recall Ahsoka having a selfish reason for any of her actions. Of course, I could be wearing rose-colored glasses. I never felt like Obi-Wan Kenobi questioned the Council's decisions enough. He could have been a great Jedi. had he stuck with his convictions. Qui-Gon Jinn was the only other Jedi I see as a true Jedi. He did what he felt was best for the good of those less fortunate, rather than accepting the Council's flawed doctrine. The more Ahsoka that gets written and created, the more I like her. To me, Ahsoka Tano is more of a Jedi than anyone on the Jedi Council. Well, thank you for watching the video, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up.
Do it.
And most importantly, may the Force be with you, always.
What about me? I believed in you. I stood by you.
I know you believe in me, Anakin.